Hi everyone and welcome back to another video. But this video isn't like the normal videos that you see. We're not going to be doing a review, we're not going to be doing a preview of the game, but we're going to be giving you our predictions. What predictions, you ask? Well, we're going to be giving you our predictions for the top four, the three teams to get relegated, the young player of the season, the player of the season, golden boot and also the golden glove. So today with me I've got Bailey, I've got Sam, I've got Axel. Welcome lads. So let's start with our top four. Bailey, who do you see getting fourth spot?
Well, fourth spot, it's a tough one. It's obviously going to be between three teams, Manchester United, Chelsea and Arsenal. However, I feel like Manchester United would just pip it due to their strengthened squad and they have less weaknesses than Arsenal and Chelsea. Also, now that they've been knocked out of the Champions League, basically, because they're not going to beat PSG 3-0 at the Parc des Princes, let's be honest, I think they can put full focus into the Premier League. Meanwhile, Chelsea are still in the FA Cup, they've got games to play in the Europa League and the Carabao Cup final, so I feel like United will edge it. Plus, also touching on Arsenal just, you can't trust them. They've got a lot of away games. Their defence is leaky, and they're in the Europa League. So I think Manchester United put full force into the Champions League.
Sam, do you agree?
No, I agree. I think United will be the fourth team. They've just got the easiest run in. Most of their games are at home. I think Arsenal have a nice run in, but their team, their defence is just dodgy. It's weak. They can't just rely on Aubameyang and Lacazette for their goals. And Chelsea, you just don't know what you're going to get. They've got the Europa League one in, they've got the Carabao Cup games, Daly said. And their defence as well as Arsenal's is dodgy. I can see United just going to.
Axel, was it a 3-0 to United?
Yeah, everything's been said really. They've got the easiest run. They've done great in the league since Solskjaer came over. And yeah, I think they'll make fourth.
Well, I have to say I agree with that. I think United will also get fourth position. So moving on to third, who do you see will get third position?
Third position has to be, I feel like it's only one team really who's going to get third, and that's Tottenham Hotspur. I think they're too far away from the top two, and they're too far away from the chasing pack in United, Arsenal and Chelsea. So I think Tottenham are perfectly sat in third place, comfortable, and I think that's who will finish third, Tottenham.
Do you disagree or do you agree?
No, I agree. They should be do enough against the smaller teams to secure third.
Axel?
Yeah, just like Bailey said, I think they're too far away from the top two, and yet they've made a gap with what's behind. So I think it's only Spurs for the third place.
Now for the top two, who's going to be winning the league and who's going to just narrowly miss out? So who would you say will win the league?
Oh boy, it's almost unpredictable. It just depends how it looks when it goes into the business end. But for now, I'm going to keep it how it is, and I think City will be top come the end of the season. I think the experience when it comes to winning Premier Leagues, I feel like their squad depth is much stronger than Liverpool's, and Liverpool have been looking nervy of late, drawing against West Ham, dropping points, almost struggling in Crystal Palace. I think City will edge the league.
Do you think City will win it by a big margin, or do you think it will be tight?
It'll be tight. Could even be down to goal difference, because we know City are blowing away teams while Liverpool are only winning 1-0. So I feel like it will definitely be City.
Sam, do you see City winning the title again?
Yeah, I think it'll be down to goal difference, Bailey said. I can see it being the same sort of thing which happened with United and City a couple of years ago, where City won a goal difference. They're just winning teams, beating teams so easily and convincingly. Well, Liverpool, they're shaky, they're defensive troubles. But saying that, if Van Dijk and Gomez can come back, then they could have a chance. But I'm not sure if Gomez will be fit anytime soon, so I'm going to stick with City.
Yeah, I think City as well. Not on goal difference. I think they have a few points. They'll finish a few points ahead of Liverpool. I think we both know they're the two best teams in the league. When it comes to that, I think what's the most important is the mental, and I think the key game was Liverpool-Leicester really. The day after City lose away to Newcastle, get the chance to get 7 points ahead, and 5-6 days later City have closed the gap. So I think from now on City are just going to crush everyone, and Liverpool will get to lose confidence as they will see City going over and over, and I think they will just know that it's over.
I think it's experience as well. They've been in that situation before. Liverpool have never been in that situation. So I think City, because of the experience, and Pep, who won it last year, it's enough to get them over the line.
So there you have it guys, that's our top four predictions. Now let's move on to the relegation. So, finishing rock bottom, 20th position. Axel, who would you say?
Well, I think it's been done already. It's going to be Huddersfield 20th.
Sam, who would you say?
Yeah, I think it'll be Huddersfield too. Their team wasn't good enough last year, even though they just survived. They didn't make plastic improvements in the summer, and I think that's cost them this year. I'm not sure what happened with Wagner, but Sewell is not really experienced in the Premier League. He's not an expert at getting out of trouble, so I can just see Huddersfield going down this year, and they're already preparing for the Championship.
Really?
Literally, Huddersfield are bottom. That's simple as that, and it's staying as that. Simple as.
That was pretty straightforward. That was easy. So now let's move on to 19th position. Axel.
Same, Fulham, too far away from 18th and 17th already. Plus, you don't feel that motivation that they had last year. You don't feel that cohesion in the group. Also, something important is that when the recruitment was done in the summer, Fulham had Djokanovic, and he's a very attacking-minded manager. So Fulham have built an attacking team, and we all know Ranieri is all about defence. And Fulham's defence is too leaky. They don't know what they're doing, and I really think there's no way they're going to close on to 18th or 17th position.
So Axel thinks Fulham will finish 19th. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I think I agree. The point difference is too much in between. I think it's just too much. The players they got in January, I don't think are good enough. They need to improve in the defence. They didn't bring anyone in. They brought forwards and midfielders in January. Their main thing should have been the defence, and they didn't prioritise that. So I think it'll be Fulham 19th. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree. All I have to say is that the only hope for Fulham is that Mitrovic turns up, scores the goals, and just hope the other teams around them drop points, or Fulham score the goals. So that's the only really chance they can get of even claiming 18th place.
Well, the thing is, he's turning up. He's still on 12 goals.
Yeah.
He's still like, I think, number 6 in the scorers table. He's not the problem. The problem is the defence, because you can score as many goals as you want. If you concede 3 or 4 every game, there's no way you're going to win games.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. He just needs to keep turning up, whilst the defence needs to just stay solid and hope that they can just climb a little bit at least.
Can you see that happening though? Do you think Fulham
I think
can
it's
pick up
possible. You never say never. Never say never. I feel like Southampton and Cardiff, who are the other challengers, I feel like they're just as poor. Not just as poor, but they are almost on their level. So why not? Why can't they do that? It's possible. Never say never. That's what I can say for Fulham.
I feel like we're going to get different answers for this question, but who do you think will finish 18th? So let's start with Sam.
I think Cardiff will. I just don't think they have a squad good enough to be in the Premiership. We said about Huddersfield last year, but I think Cardiff will. They don't have a good enough squad. The players, they didn't really bring anyone in. I know obviously with the Salah tragedy, they didn't really bring a striker in except from Nias. So, and that was their main target, was to score goals. So there was that problem. And the defence, Bamba's been solid, but I think we need another big centre back to stop the goals going in. We've seen them getting battered in the Premier League so far. But I think Warnock is a great manager, and if they are going to do it, he will be why.
Bailey, do you agree with Cardiff?
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with the introduction of Ralph Hasenhuttl, he's brought a new lease of life into Southampton, and I feel like that would just climb them above Cardiff. Whilst Cardiff have got Warnock, they've had the tragedy of Salah, and I feel like Warnock's been relegated with Sheffield United before, so it might be the same woes might come back, and I feel like Cardiff will just start dropping down due to their lack of quality, while Southampton have the likes of Redmond, Austin, Ings, so I feel like Cardiff will go down.
Axel, do you think Cardiff as well, or do you say something?
No, it's probably going to be a shocker for you, but I think Newcastle will go down actually.
Newcastle?
I think Cardiff will just stay up, 17th, because of course they have a lack of quality, but in the past few weeks they've done really, really well, and I think compared to Fulham, they've got the motivation. You can see they're going to fight till the end. Southampton equalised against them in the last minute. They didn't give up, and they scored a last minute winner, and it was already their 2nd or 3rd last minute winner this season, and I think that's going to give them just what they need to stay up. Whereas Newcastle, I don't know, I just feel Newcastle are going to go down.
But they've got a solid defence though. Like, they haven't really.
Yeah, it's all they've got. They've got a great defence.
Even
they probably have a top 10 back four. Like I think they've got a great defence, but they've got no one up front. Well, they've got.
What about Almiron, the new signing?
Yeah,
but it's all gonna come to whether he can adapt to the Premier League. He's done great in MLS. Now he's got to do it in the Premier League. It's a totally different world. I think he might become a good signing, but we'll see. But I think Newcastle will be 18th.
I think if they won against Wolves, then that would have been them safe.
Yeah.
But that last minute goal, it could just drop the whole morale and the whole squad.
Well, luckily they had the break in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
So.
So there you go, guys. Huddersfield, Fulham, Cardiff. That's what Bailey and Sam think. And instead of Cardiff, Axel thinks Newcastle. So now we're moving on to the Golden Glove award. We've got keepers like Kepa, Alisson, Ederson. But who's going to actually get the Golden Glove? So Bailey, who do you say?
Well, I feel like it's going to be a two-horse race between Alisson and Ederson. However, I feel like Alisson will pick it just because of Liverpool's, cautious approach to games. I feel like they concede the maximum goal and then they sit it deep and they don't concede. While City, they'll go all out. They win in 4-0, they'll go for 5. They win 5-0, they'll go for 6. But Liverpool, they're going for 1-0, they'll keep the 1-0 victory and get the 3 points. That's why I feel like Alisson will be Golden Glove winner.
But Liverpool, like, I wouldn't say that they're a defensive team. Like, I feel like they are.
Not defensive, but I feel like they're cautious. They're a cautious team.
So you definitely see Alisson getting
100%.
Okay, so Axel, who would you say?
Yeah, I agree. Alisson, I think he's been a key man for Liverpool this year. In the last few years, they had the choice between Karius and Mignolet, not really top 6 goalkeepers. So I think he's made a difference coming into Liverpool, and he's brought not only fewer goals coming in, but he's brought a real confidence. Liverpool defence trust their goalkeeper, and yeah, as Bailey said, they don't concede goals. So at the end of the day, it's what Golden Glove is about.
Sam, is it a 3-0 to Alisson, or are you going with
No,
something?
it's a 2-1. I feel like Ederson will get it. I think that Man City's defence is much better than Liverpool's when Van Dijk and Gomez isn't in the team. Laporte and Stones have been amazing, ball playing centre backs. They've been unreal. And I think Ederson, we've seen last year and this year what a difference he's made to the squad. He's kicking, his saves, we saw the save against Newport, which was amazing. And I think if Ederson does get the Golden Glove, I think they'll go on to win the league as well.
Okay. So moving on to the front end of the pitch, the strikers, the players that will get the goals. We've seen players like Aguero, Salah, for example, getting the goals. But who do you see getting the Golden Boot?
I want to go with a surprise one here. You guys can be shocked at this, but I'm going to go with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. And the reason I'm going to go with Pierre, not just because I'm an Arsenal fan, obviously not, but I feel like Arsenal's running, Aubameyang has a very good goal ratio record against the smaller teams, and Arsenal have a lot of the smaller teams coming up. And I feel like he will take them chances and he will keep scoring consistently and become the Golden Boot winner.
I don't think that's controversial at all. I feel like Aubameyang is he has more than enough quality to be finishing on the top. So you see only Aubameyang finishing, you don't.
Yeah, because people will go with the cliche of Aguero or Kane or Salah, but I feel like Auba will come through, and I feel like he will get Golden Boot.
Sam, do you agree with Aubameyang?
I think it's a 2-horse race, and it's between Aguero and Kane.
So you don't see Salah in the race at all?
No, I think
he's top scorer currently. Or
joint with Aguero.
Yeah.
I can see Liverpool fading, and they'll bottle it like a couple of years ago. I can see Kane's record towards the end of the season is unreal, and Aguero will keep firing him in, just like he has back-to-back hat-tricks against Chelsea and Arsenal. You can't get much more than that. And Kane coming back from injury, he'll be scoring. He wants that Golden Boot. We saw last year when he claimed that goal. He wants it. He's eager, and I can see Kane picking Aguero.
So you say Kane is going to finish top scorer? Okay. Axel?
I agree with Sam. It's going to be a two-man battle between Kane and Aguero. I think it's going to be really close. I'm still going to go with Aguero. I think he's really, really amazing this year. He has been great for the last 5-6 years, but last season there was a little bit of people wondering whether he was going to keep on being great. We've seen Jesus starting almost 10 games at the end of last season, I believe. But I think this year he's really coming back and showing he's still there. He's still one of the best 2 strikers in the world, and I think he will claim the Golden Boot.
Interesting. I'm quite interested you said Kane, because I also agree with that. Even though he's had a month out, I just feel like Kane is the best goal scorer in this league, even better than Aguero.
Yeah,
of course, Aguero is a top baller as well, but I just see Kane winning that. So now we're going to end off this video with giving you our predictions for the Young Player of the Season and the Player of the Season award. Starting off first with the Young Player of the Season. We've seen many young players emerging onto the scene, but who would you say would win the award?
So I feel like there's a few contenders, some being Sterling and maybe another being Marcus Rashford, but I think it has to go to Raheem Sterling. Literally, since the World Cup, he's just powered forward, non-stop scoring, getting assists, winning City points like it was last season, and I feel like this season he deserves to be Young Player of the Year.
He's had a few quiet games recently as well.
He has, but everyone in his category have had a few quiet games. Rashford during the Mourinho era wasn't great, but Sterling has had games consistently throughout the season where he's been the standout player, and I feel like looking beyond him is crazy. So I think Sterling will win Young Player of the Year.
Sam?
Yeah.
Bailey said Sterling, do you agree with that?
I disagree with Rashford about what he said. Rashford, the guy's only turned up for a month, 2 months. He was nowhere to be seen with Mourinho. So to put him in that category, I don't agree with. I'd put Sterling, Declan Rice, and Wan-Bissaka in as my 3, and I'd probably go with Declan Rice as my young player of the year. I think what he's done at West Ham, he's played in the anchor midfield with Mark Noble. He's got the best out of Mark Noble and the defence, and he's really changed the way West Ham play. And he's only a young guy. He's just gone to England, and I think we'll be seeing him in the England team in the future in the 2020 World Cup, the 2022 Euros. I think he'll be a main guy.
I agree with that. I feel like Declan Rice will definitely get that, hopefully. Axel?
Well, I think Raheem Sterling, and I think it's a bit of a shame because I know it's another debate, but young player of the season should be about like who's made it through, who's been discovered this year. I think Declan Rice is much more a candidate for young player of the season. But Sterling, honestly, he was in the English World Cup squad in 2014. He's been about for so many years. I know he's still 23, 24, but when it comes to young player of the season, I think it should be 21 and under. Like Kane could still be. Kane was one of the candidates last year. Like Harry Kane, that's not what we want for young player of the season. So I think it's going to be Sterling because the rules say 24 and under. But I would like Declan Rice.
So now moving on to the player of the season. Not the young player, but the player of the season. We've seen many players. We could go for Salah again, just like last year. We could go for Aguero, back-to-back hat-tricks. But who would you top to get the award?
I'm going to go for something that hasn't been seen for a long time. I want to go for a centre-back, and that's Virgil van Dijk. Without Virgil van Dijk, Liverpool would not be in the position they are right now. He's a leader in that team. He makes that team tick even, and he's just so crucial to Liverpool's team that he has to be considered. And even, it would be hard to look beyond Van Dijk. Last year, it has to be, usually if you win PFA Player of the Year, then the team has won the league. And I feel like with City this year, they haven't really got the absolute stand-up player that they had last year in Kevin De Bruyne. However, I feel like even if Liverpool don't win the league, Van Dijk will still win the PFA Player of the Year, and he deserves it because he had such an impact on Liverpool this season.
Axel, do you agree?
Yeah, I totally agree, especially on one point, is that if you look around in the best 3-4 teams, there hasn't been one standout player. I think it's a season where it's been really even. Like if you look at City, obviously De Bruyne has been injured most part of the season. Aguero has been scoring goals, but Sterling's been great. But there isn't one standout player. Same for Liverpool or Spurs. So I think this is the chance for Virgil van Dijk.
Is it a 3-0 to Van Dijk, Sam?
It's a 3-0 to Van Dijk. Yeah, the guy's been amazing, unreal. When he came in January, we saw what difference he'd make. I think they've conceded 11 goals in that season since he came in. They've only conceded 16 this season. So you can see the difference he's made. He's better than Lovren, Matip, and he's getting the best out of Gomez as well. He's like Menti to Gomez. But you can't rule out Fernandinho and Bernardo Silva. Bernardo Silva's filled in the space for De Bruyne. Unreal, his agility on the ball, he's creating goals, scoring goals. And with Fernandinho, he's held the whole midfield together. With Man City, they have 2 midfielders who like to go forward. Fernandinho just sits there, protects the defence. And we saw against Arsenal that game, and he was unreal, amazing. And Liverpool as well that game.
It's interesting that you said Fernandinho, because I think he is the most underrated player in the league. So if Fernandinho wins it, I wouldn't be surprised, but I would say Van Dijk will probably win the player of the season as well, because he just changed the whole Liverpool defence. If you see them last season, they were leaking in goals left, right and centre. So if you see this season, they've got the most clean sheets like so far this season. So I'd say Van Dijk as well. Well guys, there you have it. There's our top 4 predictions, our relegation predictions, young player of the season, Golden Glove and Golden Boot. But we want to know if you agree with us. Do you agree or do you disagree? Let us know in the comments down below. Thank you very much.